Hi, welcome to Winter Nation. My name is Michael Fagan. I'm from Atlantic City. I'm a waiter. I talk to restaurant people. Of course, we're branching out a little bit. Today, I have two guests I'm really excited to talk to, Mark and Jennifer Lopez. They're from Florida. Mark's a waiter. Jennifer is an entrepreneur. Mark has a YouTube page. Jennifer is an author and CEO of her own company. I know in these times, a lot of people are thinking about doing different things, maybe getting a podcast together, being an author, starting your own company that you thought of for years. I thought this would be an inspirational show, and I'm looking forward to having a good conversation.
Thanks so much for having us on.
No, my pleasure. I'm a fan, and I watch you guys, or at least follow you through Facebook to see what you're doing. I have a little clip here of Mark's YouTube show that I want to show everybody. And while they do that, I'll look at my phone and I'll try to share this out for everybody.
Awesome.
Carb this, no sugar that. There's some new way to cook with coconut flour. But what is keto? Does it actually work?
I'm a waiter.
Of course it works.
For restaurant people.
Who is this guy? And if so, how? You got my attention. Hi, I'm Mark, and you're watching Keto Crush, your channel for eating healthy, looking high. Be sure to stick around until the end, because in this video, we're going to take 5 minutes to understand what keto is all about, and if it's right for you. In other words, watch the whole video and preferably subscribe so I can one day do this for a living. So what is keto? Keto is a low-carb diet that eliminates carbs and sugar, our primary fuel, from our diet, which forces the body to find another source of fuel, ketones, like dairy, nuts, oils, avocados, and fish. The switch from burning carbs for energy to burning ketones is called ketosis. It takes time to make the switch. You have to burn through all your reserves first, aka all the crap you've been eating throughout the years. And it has some side
good stuff.
Keto flu. More on that later. But once you make the switch, you'll reap the rewards of a long list of benefits like insane energy levels, super mental clarity, sharper focus, weight loss, fewer if any needs. Seriously, I was a huge jerk on carbs, less need for sleep. But when I do get it, better, deeper sleep, loss of appetite, lower blood sugar, less energy. So how does it work? To answer that, I want you to picture an open fire. Think of a sheet of paper, sugar. If you throw it in the fire, it may burn brightly at first, but it'll fizzle out just as quickly, like sugar. Now,
Mark, that's some good stuff.
I appreciate that.
That is an accomplishment in editing. I wish I had the editing skill, and I tell my kids and I tell a lot of young people, if you can edit and film a little bit, you can make a living for the rest of your life, because everybody's going video, and it's going to become more popular as years go on.
Yeah.
I mean, don't encourage him. I think he's having a little too much fun with it right now.
Are you just doing it on iMovie, like off the laptop, or are you using?
Yeah, I actually get that question a lot. I'm doing it all off my phone.
Really?
It occurred to me that my phone is the most powerful electronic device that I have in the house. So I just started editing there, and it's time consuming, don't get me wrong, but it's a relative breeze.
Yeah, all my videos before the podcast, I worked with a cameraman and editor, and it was expensive to do, and that's what limited me to a few videos a year. But if you can do it yourself and get out there, it's the best way to do it. Talk to me first about you're a waiter. Talk to me first about being a waiter in Tampa. From what I hear, it's the scariest place in the world.
Okay, so that's not the case at all. Right?
Okay.
I like to give you an example of Hurricane Sandy. Right? Remember when that happened?
Yeah.
And from the news, Atlantic City was the new Atlantis. It pretty much sunk. And what was the reality?
Yeah, we were fine.
Exactly. All right. Well, then that's the case right now. Everyone is fine. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want it to be a controversy. We're wearing our masks. But I know people who got it, they got sick for a couple of days and then they were fine. A lot more people are getting tested. And the more people get tested, the more people who are shown to have it. We're pretty sure that it ran through our family household in November. So it is what it is. We're grateful to be open, and guests are happy to be dining. So
you work in Hard Rock Casino?
Yeah, in Tampa, the Council Oak Steakhouse in the Hard Rock.
What are the rules? Are you under limited capacity, like 25%, or how does that work?
We are at 50% capacity.
Okay.
I will say that we're taking lots of measures. You know, we sanitize everything. The wine list, I sanitize at the table. You know, I'm wearing gloves. I'm wearing a mask. The guests really appreciate it. But you know, they're just happy to be dining, honestly.
I went to dine there probably a week ago with my girlfriend just to see what they were up to, and something different that they're doing on that upscale level. They're handing you little baggies for your masks, so you can put your mask discreetly away at the table while you're dining, which I thought was pretty cool. I haven't seen that anywhere.
Wow,
The wine list, the wine list and the menu you can look at off your phone. You don't have to touch anything. That sort of thing.
Is it QR code on your phone?
Yes. Yep.
So as far as, are you using the same amount of people in the restaurant, or have people been laid off, or?
Okay, so restaurant, like employment wise, we are running pretty thin. And that's been a little rough. Like on the back of house end, like we're a skeleton crew. So that's unfortunate. And you know as well as I do that that comes with its own set of complications.
Sure.
But we're making it work. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as you, how many children do you have?
Four,
I think.
Four,
right
right.
now.
Okay. I knew, I didn't want to misspeak. I knew you had a bunch.
Yeah.
So actually, that's a pretty average family.
Yeah. We're normal here.
Now, so do you normally homeschool?
We have homeschooled since we moved down 5 years ago. Mark moved down before us when Atlantic City casinos were not doing so hot. And when we moved down, we decided that, waiter life is really hard. You send the kids to school, and just when they're getting out at 2, 3 o'clock is when dad is going into work. And we'd spent some time apart already. So we decided to keep them out for a little while and enjoy being reunited with dad and, finding some fun stuff to do. And then we just got addicted to the freedom and the lifestyle of it. So we really enjoyed it. We actually put our kids into school in January of this year to shake it up a little bit. They lasted 6 weeks, and then that was it. So we told them that they broke the school system. We were like, because of you, now the whole world has to homeschool,
So a lot of people right now, I wanted to talk to you as far as kids losing the experience of school. Should they worry about that, or do they still get that childlike experience, the friends, the social life? And that's what a lot of people are talking about. I figured you would know best.
Yeah. So the first year that we homeschooled, it was all business all day. It was the curriculum and the arts and crafts and all of the things. And by the time you're done with all of that at home, there really is not a whole lot of time for going out and socializing. And so you join extracurricular activities and so forth. We ended up loosening up a little bit as the time went on. And we have a great co-op group that we use for social hangouts at the playground. We have park days, soccer days, arts and crafts days that are very informal. I think what's hurting all of us now is that whether you're homeschooling or even when the kids do go back to school, we still can't have that social time. So it still does affect the homeschool community as well. But as far as the experience from homeschool to school, it's the same from a social perspective. And even when they're like, if you're just teaching them the basics, you'll know if the kid is, if your kid is not up to par as far as education is concerned. They develop pretty quickly.
Like the whole idea that the kids are missing out on like that experience.
Yes.
It doesn't define these children. They just want to have fun. They want to be engaged, and they want to have friends. And as you know, and as anyone who goes online, there's communities for everything out here, right? So you just reach out, and I literally put out a classified. Like, it was hilarious. 5 years ago, I said, this is my daughter. This is what she's interested in. Who else is homeschooling? And that turned into a group of over 500 families.
Wow.
So
you started it?
I did. Yep.
Yeah, it's called Homeschool Hangouts.
Yeah.
So great group of families.
That's awesome, because I think that's forefront on a lot of people's mind that have kids and thinking, maybe I'm going to keep them home. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if the kids are going to suffer in the long run. So to hear from you is a nice perspective to say, you can have a normal life, a social life, you can join sports, you can have a lot of friends and still stay home if that's your choice.
I always kind of put it this way. how many of those friendships from your childhood, like, are a part of your life right now? I feel like there's just so much weight that goes on it. I wish I had a little bit more time with my mom, right? I mean, I lost her in my early 20s, and my kids are now getting this quality time with us and their friends. So for me, that's a little more important.
Yeah, and I think that even so they look forward to the expectation that the school sets, the Christmas holiday parties, whatever the end of the year party is, the dances and so forth. So as long as you're still creating I mean, it's more difficult to find other parents to help create those experiences too, but you can still make it happen. It doesn't have to be through the school system, although you need a team of people to do it, which is what the school system essentially is. But you can still make it happen.
That's cool. So when I watch you all the time on Facebook, and you're always posting about keto, Mark, and I showed you a little bit earlier. Is keto something? Is it a lifestyle change for you? Is this
1000%? I'm 37 years old, right? And I care a lot about my health, and I want to see my grandkids. And sugar has always had a really bad effect on me. And about 2 years ago, I decided I want to give up sugar completely. And that was a rough process. It's not an easy thing to do, but everything just started getting better. And I wanted to take it further and said, okay, well, where does this road lead me? And that was keto. It has completely re-energized me, and more importantly, changed my energy, my mood. I'm just a better human being on keto. And if I can help one person turn their life around by changing their diet, that would be so fulfilling. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some fulfillment. And this is my path for that.
So Mark started the journey actually it was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I remember his first keto experience because of how it ended. So he was on it for, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks. He decided to go low to no carb, which was killer for me because I like my rice. I like my bread.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to sit around and have rice sandwiches, we would just stuff dinner in a roll and be like, this is great. So Mark got off of all of that stuff. One day he says to me, I want to take you out. Let's go on a date. I want to take you to Serendipity in New York City. And I'm like, yes, frozen hot chocolate, great food. I can't wait. I was so excited. Except nothing on the menu. There was nothing that he could eat on the menu because it was just not keto friendly.
Right.
So I broke him before we left. I got him a big double chocolate cake. I made him a Entenmann's cake. I got him made him a big pot of Spanish yellow rice. And I said, you're going to eat this. You're going to get off of keto and that's it. Shovels it down. He goes, okay, fine. We'll go out. I'll eat from the menu too. Well, halfway through the dinner, I see him checking his pulse and he's going like this. He goes, I think it's too much sugar. I think it's too much sugar. He proposed to me that night. So, so his heart was just racing the whole time.
She's doing it for a real loop.
Yeah, we didn't know if it was the sugar rush or the proposal, but
it wasn't the sugar, at least that night. So are you completely off then? Will you have a piece of cake at a birthday party or
No, I'm 100% off. I don't want to get preachy, but when you break the sugar habit, that desire, that need eventually goes along with it. And I always say, and when people say, oh, you can't have a piece of cake, I can have whatever I want. No one is telling me what I can and can't eat. At this point, I just don't want it. And so it's always a choice.
Yeah. And Mark he's helped me get on keto probably, we're coming up on a year now. August 1st will be my 1-year ketoversary. And it was much more difficult for me. The first 2 times I tried, I got to coffee in the morning and, I was told I couldn't have my sweetener. I said, well, forget it. I give up then. But this past time I really wanted to give it a try. And so the same thing that Mark is saying, it happened that craving for sugar eventually just subsided. But I also, for me, I don't want to have to say no all the time or always refuse. What I've learned though is that I do have my capacity. So if I want to have, a square, an itty bitty piece of brownie or something, just to like, if my kids bake, you know, I'm not going to refuse what they've baked. We'll try a little bite and I'll say, oh, this is fantastic. And it doesn't throw me out of ketosis. So it's really it's about learning how to control your cravings.
It is. And for breakfast this morning, I made her banana nut bread and a coffee, but it was all keto.
It was delicious.
Well, if you're looking for a healthier lifestyle, then check out Keto Crush on YouTube. That's Mark's channel. And he puts a lot of videos out there, and they're done very well. Jennifer, a lot of people these days, want to be their own boss. They want to be an author, do a podcast, start a YouTube channel, whatever. You are your own boss. You're the CEO of
Assistant Pro. Mm-hmm.
Assistant Pro. And your book is called Chief Executive Mom.
It is. Yeah.
And I have all their links in the description, the YouTube channels, the book, the websites, everything's in the description if you want to go back and check it out.
And thank you for all of that. So it's not that I always wanted to be my own boss, but I was at home with the kids for, like 10 years straight almost. And, that we got to a point in homeschooling where they became so independent that I kind of felt like I was losing my purpose a little bit. I hate to say I'm ambitious by nature, but I can't sit still by nature. Finding an employer that wasn't going to tell me, control my schedule around my kids. Because the most important thing for me is that I'm there for them when they need me to be, there for them, not when I get the approval for time off. And so that was super important. I ended up just finding the thing that I was good at, which happened to be personal assistance. I think it's because my 5-year-old is probably the best boss there is and delegator. So they've certainly trained me for that. But I just put myself out there as a contracted personal assistant. If someone couldn't afford someone full time and they were only looking for something part time, I was going to get in there, do the best that I could, and grow from there. Because once you are highly sought after, your time becomes a real issue. So then you change from being the doer to the trainer as you hire new people on. And so that role just kind of continuously changes as you go. I think that now we are in a very cool time to be an entrepreneur, because all you really have to do is be the best at, you have to harness your skill, of course, but you really have to try to have the best customer service around. That's what it is. You want people to work with you. I can tell you, it's a people business. We make mistakes all the time, but it's like the happy disposition, the willingness to get it done, to fix whatever you may have debacled a little bit. I don't know. That's what it is. And if you can harness whatever your skill is, I don't care if it's graphic design or marketing or assistance or art or answering phones. If you can do that, you literally can pitch your service to anybody. And really, that's what it is to be an entrepreneur.
So, Chief Executive Mom, your book is about your business, or is that something different?
So my business was based up around my ability to systemize the home in a way that it kind of runs on its own by engaging the family members and giving everyone their own ownership and own role. It's very similar. When I tell you it is very similar to running your own business, I mean, it's a mirror image. You train entry-level people in your job and you make them the best that they could until they no longer rely on you to answer questions. That is motherhood in essence. That is parenthood. So I'm very passionate about, helping other stay-at-home parents find the time so that they can still fulfill whatever it is that they want to fulfill. Because when we become parents, we kind of forget the person that we are or that we want to be, because we're just so wrapped up in parenthood and the needs of the kids. And that doesn't always have to be the case. So Chief Executive Mom is my gift to kind of give that stay-at-home parent. And I've had dads read it. I've had single people read it. I've had moms read it. It's really about engaging, finding different ways to make a system out of your household and let things kind of run on their own, and and making everyone in the family feel like they are a part of the family, not just being controlled by parents.
What makes Jen a successful business owner is that it's not about managing people or micromanaging people. It's about empowering them with responsibility and making them feel like they're invested in what they're doing. And when it occurred to us that she does that at home, just like she does at the workplace, we felt that there was something there that we should really talk about
and share.
So you will go into a house and you will teach them how to, you're almost like the show Hoarders that cleans up the house, except you're cleaning up the rules and responsibilities with everybody, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And the fact is, if you were to ask any, lots of people anyway that I've talked to, usually when they call, they feel like they have an issue with chores getting done in the house. Like nobody does their chores. I fight and I argue and I yell and I put it every which way. The reality is it's not the chores that are the problem. It's that you don't have buy-in. The communication piece is the problem. And oftentimes when we speak in a way that makes most sense to us, not in a way in which the other person understands the most. So it's really about observing, especially in a family of 6. Like I can tell you, even just from a husband and wife perspective, how many times we've said, okay, I don't know, let's pick any one thing that we've had to delegate in the house, even dishes, right? Sure. Like nobody wants to do the dishes. Nobody wants to do them. That's in every house. If you want to do the dishes, come on over to our house. You can do them here too, happily. But what we found is that it's not about the act of doing the dishes. It's thinking about each other and saying, okay, she's had a long day. Let me do the dishes so that she doesn't have to. Or for me saying, Mark cooked a great meal. Let me do the dishes so that he doesn't have to. So it's really about shifting that mindset from chore to being a really, responsible and a good team player.
So Assistant Pro, though, is something else other than the book. Assistant Pro is that if I need an assistant for a day or a week or full time, I would call you and I would say, I need some help with my business with, tell me.
So it's actually both. A lot of what Assistant Pro turned into was that at-home helper. And so what we were teaching the homeowners and the family members was to find the things that you really hated to do and then just put it on a recurring cycle for us. So maybe it's organizing, putting the home on a cyclical organizing just to keep up that maintenance. Maybe it's that you like to cook, but you don't like to wash and chop your fruits and vegetables. Well, now you have someone that can come in and food prep for you. On the business side of things, it's the same thing. Entrepreneurship, solopreneurship is one of the most difficult stages because you really do have to wear 22 hats. And just when owners get stuck at this plateau where they've got so much work to do and they become in demand, but then they don't have anybody to delegate to. There's not enough budget to hire a quality assistant, because a quality assistant is not going to be your minimum wage assistant. It's going to be someone who's well trained. And then there's the whole, well, once they get in there, what exactly are they going to do on a recurring basis? Once they take the edge off, it's kind of all right, well, do I keep them? Do I fire them? Now they're an expense. So there's this crazy limbo period where owners hit this plateau for income and they need just that little boost of support. So, I always say with us, you can hire us and fire us at will, and we're not offended. We're going to keep coming back and doing a great job every time you need it. But it seems to have found its little space in the marketplace. COVID, I will tell you, has not been kind, but not for a business where you are one-to-one personal assistants. But our team has been really great about it. We still have some really cool clients that we're able to help. And when the time is right again, then we'll get back out and we'll start marketing. It doesn't feel like the right time to be saying, hey, let us into your house. So, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Mark, the other day when we were talking a little bit about social media and what both our strategies are, and you said TikTok, and I thought to myself, as far as I know TikTok, you dance around for 15 seconds and post it and get 1 million views. But you told me that what you actually do is you use TikTok a little bit and put some clips on there to drive traffic back to your regular channel.
I love TikTok. I was actually just having this conversation with Jen. Yeah. my daughter kept saying, "Dad, you should check out TikTok. Dad, TikTok, TikTok." And finally, I was like, okay, let me check it out. So restrictions force creativity, and on TikTok, you have 1 minute to get someone's attention. And for me, like, that's tough. I all my videos are recipes. What am I going to show in 1 minute? So I got unconventional, and these videos are a lot of fun. And my last one, over 5,000 views, and my YouTube is going up, and my Instagram's going up, and people they see my TikTok for entertainment value, and then they jump to my other platforms for the information. So yeah, it's been a really fun ride.
I'm going to check out your TikTok channel and try to do something myself. You're right about the creativity. And I think both of you tapped into, when you have kids, and then obviously we live for our kids and everything we do for our kids, but it helps us mentally and physically if we have a goal and a purpose and some creativity in our life, and we're creating on our own, that we have something other than, waiting on tables and earning money.
Let me talk about that for a minute. All right. 6 years ago, AC took a nosedive.
Yep.
All right. And I worked at Revel. And so we saw that ship sinking. And Jennifer and I had the conversation before things went south. And we said, we need a backup plan. Like, what are we going to do? And Tampa kind of showed up. It was like Tampa, Miami, Vegas, all of the big cities for our industry. And so when it finally happened, I went to Tampa, and I lived here for 8 months by myself while Jen, pregnant with the other 3 kids, stayed up north. And I did what had to be done to make sure that we were secured. From that moment, for the next 5 years, Jen, 4 years, I put my head in the sand and I worked my butt off. While it got us to a great place, it did suck all of the creative energy out of me. I put everything into building a strong foundation for my family, and that was great. But it kind of made me a little, I don't want to say soulless, but it definitely took a lot out of me. During quarantine, right? For 1 month, I sat there and I played a video game. And then it just happened. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I put the controller down and I said, I'm done. And it's time to start creating again. And I'm back. Like, the husband, the guy that she married, creating, taking time just for me to exercise that creative energy. Oh man, it feels good to be alive again. So yeah, the likes are great, the follows are great, all that stuff is awesome. But just to be putting out stuff that's meaningful to me and touching on that fulfillment again, it means the world.
And it's something that we've talked to the kids about too, because I mean, having kids now, yes, we had Mario, we had Nintendo, we had Sega, we had stuff, but not nearly as much consumption as these kids have readily accessible to them today. I mean, some of this stuff is super mindless. So what I love about this journey, even though it's like, I mean, it's difficult. Business, employees, book, content, it's difficult. But at the end of the day, getting a Mother's Day card that says something like, I see how hard you work and I can't wait to grow up and work as hard as you, and showing the kids creation over consumption leads to a happy lifestyle. I mean, that is kind of what keeps us from feeling like we're being selfish by creating and by, pursuing our journeys. We're setting an example for them as well.
Yeah, my living room is always a mess with lights and tripods. My trunk is filled with different lights and backdrops.
Yeah, but you love it, right?
I do. And a lot of people, you might misunderstand and think like, oh, well, he just loves attention. And really, I don't. I like the creative part to make something out of nothing. And I've acted and did some things in the past too, where that was the whole experience and what you get out of it. And then, like you said, the likes don't make me feel bad, but to see that somebody actually looked at something that I created and enjoyed it, that's the payoff.
And
or listens to your advice.
Mike, from watching what you've got going on too, the reason I follow Waiter Nation is I'm a waiter's wife, and you create this this forum where I feel like I'm not alone in the lifestyle that we live, and Mark feels the same, because I mean the industry can be very lucrative, but it does lack prestigious title that a lot of people like to have and crave. And so having that reminder that you kind of put us in this, you've created this community that we see others living the same lifestyle. I know that helps us too.
It really does. When I saw what you were doing years ago,
yeah,
it kind of just stayed in the back of my mind that, you know, I'm part of something that matters to a lot of people, and it's okay that we're doing what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Well, a lot of people feel bad about it. You know, you're a waiter, and then I actually went back to a funeral of a high school buddy of mine, you know, and I was talking to a girl, and everybody was saying, well, at your age, aren't you a manager? Aren't you this? And I told her, I said, no, I'm just a waiter. And she said,
yeah.
And that stuck with me. And like 3 months later, I did my first video. And I thought, yeah, because I don't feel like that. And I know, like, the guys you work with, I know some of them, and the guys I work with are total pros. They're at the top of their profession, and everybody thinks it's low skills. So I just wanted to put a spotlight on that. Here's somebody advised me, I don't know if you've looked into it, maybe you both did, that there are some online sites where you can teach. You can make a video of teaching, like how to be an author, how to do. Have you looked into that? Because I'm looking into it, and it's pretty interesting.
Okay, so basically that's step one to creating evergreen passive income, evergreen content, passive income. You have your live videos, which are engaging now, and then I have my videos, which are informative, but you can use all of that to create this library of content. The challenge there is that it is a massive amount of work. But the good thing is that if you love what you're doing, it'll never feel like work. But yeah, once you set up those libraries, it will absolutely be beneficial to you. And it's something that is on my back burner once I can get on top of everything else that I'm doing now.
It's something that Mark has pressured me to put on my back burner as well. I really enjoy that face-to-face time with someone, and I know that as age continues to set in, that I'm gonna maybe regret not having a platform like that set up. So I'm sure that I will do it as well. In the meantime, I'm all about having those coaching sessions one-on-one, either live or via Zoom, as we've all been adapting in that way.
Well, for the listeners that are listening in, what I'm talking about is if you're an expert at anything, or you feel that you can advise other people on anything, if you make the best apple pie, then you can put a video out on some sites and teach people how to make the best apple pie. There's a couple different ways you get paid for it, but like one site was like 5 cents a minute. And that doesn't sound like a lot. If I have 5 cents for every minute seen on my Facebook videos, I'd be a millionaire or close to it. So, and it adds up. And as my one friend that was talking to me about it, she said, you're never going to have any money unless you make money while you're sleeping, so
yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it's a side income. Maybe also it's maybe it turns into a real income. When I started, I was just going to say, when I started Waiter Nation, I had a consultant, and I sat down, we had coffee every week for 2 months. And the one thing that stuck out in my mind the most was he said, what you think won't work probably will, and it will probably work better than every other idea you had. So just keep trying and go start something new and try something different, and you never know what's going to click, what'll go viral, what will end up making you money.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. So there's an expression that says niche down, blow up, right? And a lot of people think that, well, what I have to say isn't going to be that important to anybody. But if you are an expert on it, and if you are professional or passionate about it, someone will want to hear what you have to say. And the more narrow and specific of a subject you can speak on, the more successful you'll be. So that's really important. And then to what you just said about something that you don't think is going to work, that will work, that video that you posted in the beginning of this podcast, while I was editing that, I thought to myself, this is boring. Like I look stiff. I'm not entertained by this. I need to spice it up. So I just jumped in there and I started acting like, a Jersey, some dude from Jersey with attitude.
Hey, be careful. We're from Jersey.
I know. And it just worked. And that video started a little bit of shift in my tone and traffic. and I've been picking up. And my latest TikTok features that attitude Jersey guy, and it's been killing it. So yeah, you don't know what's going to work. You just keep throwing stuff against the wall, and something's going to stick. And then when it does, it takes off, and it's a wild ride.
Yeah, and for those out there that are saying to themselves, well, so-and-so is an expert and I'm not, and that's what's holding you back from the fear of creating that content and publishing it. The only difference is that they're getting paid. If you have something that has been done before and proven, then your perspective on it is what makes you marketable.
That's 100%
and
right.
Yeah, and somebody, if it resonates with someone, then it'll resonate with more. If you get 1 out of 10 people to listen to you, then that means maybe you'll get 2 out of 20, and you just have to expand whatever that reaches. So it's just a matter of having a little bit of confidence, being yourself, and getting it out there.
And the one thing you have to do is make sure every time you're getting in front of the camera or producing that content, you're learning from your past mistakes. You're constantly evolving. You're constantly getting better. And I mean, I've only been doing this for 2 months, but from my first video to my latest, there is a world of a difference. I was cold sweating. I was stuttering. I didn't know I stuttered, but it was unbelievable. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this. And in 2 months, I've evolved so much. So you just have to be open to criticism, willing to learn, and YouTube is an unbelievable resource for learning. So it will happen. Just do it. Just start recording, and it'll happen.
Yeah, the one thing when I was acting and I was going to auditions, they say take risks. Take risks. Don't be afraid to take a risk, because you want to do everything calm. You don't want to look stupid.
Exactly.
And you end up being stiff and boring. And if you do something, you just got to live with like, well, that's me. I've lived with looking at myself on camera and saying, I don't know, that's me. I don't like it. I don't like my hair. I don't like the way I look. Right? I don't like. Is that my voice? Is that what everybody else? And you just say, well, the hell with it. Nobody else says that. Everybody else says, that's just a guy. So that, but the creative part in the YouTube, I find it really hard to grow my YouTube and get views. There are some different strategies that I've heard about. You connect links, and you connect different links and other sites and other products and that. But Facebook for me has worked the best, and everything else is a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that Mark's greatest success in YouTube is those short 1-minute TikTok videos that lead, because they're craving more content. The less you give them on TikTok, the more they're craving that content. And so pushing that traffic into YouTube has really, we've seen Mark's numbers.
Yeah, just today
really
I just shot up like 10 subscribers this morning.
Yeah, which is quite a bit for just starting out.
Yeah.
No, it's hard to be. You got to love it, and it's hard to be patient at sometimes. I think there's 2 challenges to making money in this kind of form, like an online form, and you've achieved it, so I'll ask you. So the first one is building an audience. First, you have to have somewhat of an audience, because if you're playing to 100 people and only 3 or 4 watch, that's really hard. So you got to build an audience somehow. You got to figure that out. Second is you have to monetize it. And for me, that's been the most difficult. I think a big challenge for me is people say, like, I don't actually want a waiter sponsoring my product. Like, maybe I'll get a chef to do it, and that really ticks me off, and that like motivates me. Well, I'll be like, well, I get 100 times more views than this guy. Everybody, But how did you, when you started your business and you're pitching it for the first couple times? That's when you're like, you're just like, oh my God, nobody would ever hire me. Why would anybody pay? So where do you get the confidence to say it's going to be this much money, and this is my product?
Well, it's more important to listen than to be married to whatever thoughts you have about what you're about to do, which is why it's important just to get it out there and stop thinking about it and just do it, because no matter what you're thinking now, it's going to be received differently. So having the data to support which route you go to. If I see that more people are clicking on meal plans than office administration stuff more than organization, then I'm going to increase that meal plan content, and I'm going to increase what happens there. So, I guess what the easiest way to say it is, however you start out, whatever you're confident about, whatever your expertise is, You're going to get out there and understand that it absolutely has nothing to do with you and has more to do with listening to your audience and trying to keep your finger on the pulse of what they want so that you can continuously adapt. I mean, even when it comes to the styles of video that Mark produces, is it information? Is it recipe? Is it results? You know, there are ways to just monitor those statistics and see what the audience is craving so you can adapt and put more of that content out.
So you've heard the expression, fake it till you make it, right?
Yes.
I like the expression, if you believe it, you can achieve it, right? So you just have to say, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to believe that I am that person and that's what I'm doing. And everything else will coalesce around that. Also, in regards to...
And nobody knows if you're getting paid or not except you.
Yeah,
nobody knows that. So to everyone else, you are the professional until to yourself, you're the professional.
And I'll tell you, for anyone looking to create their own channels out there, the tools that we have right now are just unbelievable. And the most important part of those tools are your insights. For instance, Instagram offers insights, and YouTube offers analytics. And you look at the information and it tells you what interviews you've made that have been the most successful, what captions struck the highest chord, what got the most likes. And you take what you've done before and you use that to shift the focus on your future content. And before you know it, it'll just escalate more and more and more.
Yeah, Facebook and a lot of these sites, they're amazing. They can tell you what age people are watching, how long they watched, when they watched, what their interests are, what state they're from. It's, you know, if they like Jimmy Fallon or not, like that's your audience to go forward.
Middle-aged women from California love the keto diet.
They do. The other piece, and I know a lot of people getting into this space don't necessarily have a website yet. I would definitely recommend a website. The website is what links to Google Analytics. Google Analytics will tell you how long they've stayed on a page, what content they're watching, what the other 3 search terms are that they've recently searched. I mean, it's really incredible how much you can get to know your audience.
Yeah, it is. It is the new way of doing business. When you started a web page with your name being Jennifer Lopez, how many times did that create like a cheese? You know, obviously you can't do jenniferlopez.com and, you know, your Facebook, and I know there's a lot of jokes, so I won't make a lot of jokes. But
yeah, you did a great job.
I mean,
you waited 45 minutes before bringing that up.
Yeah, and that's really stellar. You do know that Mark's middle name is Anthony, right? So it's Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez.
Perfect. So get a website. You'll get 1 million views. Just put Mark Anthony, right?
She was actually, I remember she was super excited. If you Google Jennifer Lopez, what is it, Jennifer Lopez?
If you Google Jennifer Lopez author, and it's like very specific instructions. So like if you Google Jennifer Lopez author and then go to the image page, it's all J-Lo and my picture is in there as well, which is very, very exciting.
Very nice. I'll put you next to that. I mean, not as making a joke, I just thought it's challenging because it is your name, except you really can't use it like.
Right. So the advice that I got, because I work with, I've had the pleasure of crossing paths with amazing, amazing entrepreneurs, and some of them do have the same struggles that I do with a name that is already taken by the other guy. And the advice that they gave me was to find a way to link to a source that's credible for you, right? So like I have a bestseller on Amazon, you know, and no matter who you are, Amazon is like one of the #1 ranking websites. Like they're always going to outrank. They're always going to be on page 1. So Jennifer L. Lopez might not be able to get on page 1, but Jennifer Lopez author on Amazon can get on page 1, or at least has some sort of a shot at it. I would say like partnerships and being able to brand with other credible resources is very helpful.
She owns it. She's J-Lo. Like it's not, a lot of people know her as J-Lo, and you just, it's her. That's who she is.
Yeah. I've embraced it. And yes, I can sing, but not very well. And yes, she can dance way better than I can. Doesn't ever stop me, but she can.
She came in when we worked at Revel. She came into American Cut when I was there, but I was off and I didn't see her. You know, Jennifer Lopez. Did you see her when she came to Revel, Mark?
No, but I heard of these stories.
So in these changing times, I have a 30-minute window to apply for my unemployment benefits this week. And I'm 12 minutes away from 11 o'clock. If I don't claim by 11 o'clock, I am out of money for the week.
Well, we've had a lot of fun being on your show today. Thank you so much.
Well, I did too. I hope you come back. You know, let's do some things, and maybe like in 2 months, come back and we'll compare. I'd like to talk to you. Maybe I'll text you and we'll communicate back and forth about just like different ideas of what's going. It's nice to hear, and I think that a lot of people may be thinking of the stuff that you are doing. Maybe this will give them the push this week to maybe open up Google and start searching what to do.
Just do it. Just get in front of a camera, do a video. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be weird. But if you're passionate about anything, just start doing it, and you're going to feel great.
Great. Thanks so much for being on today, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. Good luck with your unemployment.
Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to get paid right now. And I'll see you on Tuesday with Giovanna.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.